And it was a story about this parent, and they were at a playground. And they're at this playground, and the kids playing around. All the kids are playing in the jungle gym and stuff like that, and they're running around. And then there's this one kid. Kid is so bad. Like the parents were even saying this kid could be evil. The kid was cussing. Think about that. Like imagine a 5-year-old cussing. And then on top of it, not only just cussing, like physically pushing kids and hitting them. And the parent was looking at this child like, what? And they are a parent themselves. And the first thing they thought was, wow, I can't imagine being that parent. And then you hear this, Jimmy, Jimmy, come over here. And you see the parent of the child who is physically hurting others, other children, and swearing. And the kid comes to the parent, and the parent's like, Jimmy, what did I tell you? Don't say bad words and stop hitting each other. And then the kid cusses at their own mom and hits their mom and runs off. And all the parents are like, "What?" And for me as a non-parent, it's very easy for me to be judgmental and say, "Oh, it's the parents' fault. It's the parents' fault. Oh, how could the parent raise this child like this?" But when I talk to this parent, the parent's like, no, 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 no. They understand that children can be like this and they're learning things. Sometimes they learn it from other people. Even though the parents can be great, sometimes a child can be very unruly. And so the parents are understanding that other parent's heart. They're like, wow, how do you do it? And this parent felt so sorry for this other parent. They turned to the parent and they're like, hey, wow, it's got to be tough raising a child. And this parent's like, yeah, it's really, really tough. And the parent goes to the other parent with the unruly child and says, hey, you know, how do you do it? Like, I'm not trying to, say anything bad, but your child is pretty unruly, but how do you put up with it? And the parent turns to this parent and looks at them like, seriously, with, that sincerity in their hearts. And they said, because he is mine. And that's something that really changed this person's heart to realize that a parent would do anything that this is the parent's love for their child. It is unconditional. It is not done because the child is good. You don't love the child because the child is good. You don't love the child because the child obeys. You don't love the child because it's the perfect child. You love the child because it's yours. And when I heard this story, I realized even more deeply. You look at the world and you see people that you'll look at and say they are just evil. How can they do this to another human being? How can they live like this? And when I heard this story, I realized God would look at us with sadness in his eyes, but he would be so sincere and say, because they are mine. And this is God's unconditional love. It is not about what you deserve or how great you are. It's because he created you. You belong to him. And that's why God can love you unconditionally. And this is God's unconditional love.